Hey everyone, this is Chris. Welcome back to the channel. So we're talking politics, and in fact, it looks like the Democrats are going to control the Senate. They just called the race in Nevada. We're still waiting on the House. Let me just check here. So Republicans have 211 seats. The Democrats have 204 seats in the House, and they need 218 to control, that being the Republicans. I think they're favored, but at this point it's a toss-up, whereas with the Democrats, currently they have 50 seats. Republicans have 49. Even if the Republicans win the last seat, which is the race in Georgia, the Warnock and Herschel Walker, and it doesn't matter because if it's 50-50, meaning 50 Democrats senators and 50 Republican senators, the vice president, which would be Kamala Harris, would give the tiebreak vote. So Democrats have the Senate. One of the things I really want to stress in this channel is sometimes people say, oh, Chris, you can't talk about politics. You know, I like your financial stuff, but just don't talk politics because you don't know anything. This is my response to this, guys. I think it's all the same. It's all the same to me. I look at the news. I try to read facts. I give you my honest opinion, and I'm fine having a discussion. And my opinion is, if you want to build a better world and a better USA, a better country, a better everything, we need to be adults in the room and have real conversations with each other. And I have no problem with that. I was a professor for years. I used to teach politics. And in fact, my students always come into the class, and it's always the same every year. They're like, I don't want to talk politics. It's no fun. Also sensitive. And they always come out at the end of the semester, man, I really liked it. It's really fun to talk politics. Mostly because if you set the guidelines of like, hey, we're going to deal with facts, we're going to hear out each other's opinions and see, what each other believes and have a real conversation about it. So that's sort of why I whenever I talk about these things, I try to set the tone of how I think about these things. So I just want to find the best candidates, to be perfectly frank. Also, too, to be fair, I really didn't like Biden or Kamala Harris. I really didn't. I thought Biden was too old, and I don't know. I just found Kamala Harris, or Kamala, I think her name is, just really unlikable. And she would never look at the camera, and just a lot of things I don't really like about her. But it's just funny that it's always the same every election. Like the people I really want never win, and then you end up with the people like I don't really like that much, but like, hey, I got this candidate or this candidate, you're Biden or Trump. I was like, okay, I don't really want to go with Trump again. I'm going with Biden. So that was my thoughts on the last one. And then this next one, we'll see. I would prefer Biden not run, to be perfectly frank, and I just want new blood. And that goes even for, say, Pelosi as well. I don't hate Pelosi, anything like that. I don't want any violence on them, but I just want some new blood, want some young people in there. And I don't think it's crazy. That's just my opinion on these things. So I hope you guys understand what I'm trying to say is I want the country to come together. I served in the United States Navy. I always mention that because I believe that we can work together. I believe we can all be neighbors. I'd like to be friends. Not everyone can be friends, but cordial, right? We can be neighbors. Doesn't have to be buddies with everyone in the country, but I just don't like this idea that we're all going to be fighting and bickering. And I get it. On YouTube, if you want to have a popular channel, you just say, I want to be blue team, and I love blue team, and red team sucks. I hate you, red team. And if you want to be on the other side, you're like, oh, I love red team. I love red team. I hate blue team. And I just don't want to play that game. And so I set the tone of how I want to talk about politics. Now, when we talk about any particular issue, I'm fine hearing people out, and I always ask for people's comments. But what I don't like is people just making up stuff. And so I mentioned that several times. I just don't tolerate that. And it's really interesting, this current election. So there were a lot of Republican candidates that were basically pushing conspiracy theories and just being real about the election fraud and this stuff like that. And it turns out the one in Nevada, those kind of election, conspiracy theories didn't win. And my personal opinion is, if you're going to run an election as the Republicans, I don't really think, saying, oh, we have to run because there's a bunch of fraud in the system. I just don't think that's a great issue to run on for either party. I think, honestly, if you want to run and win an election for either party, tell Americans how you're going to, get the economy going, how you're going to get them jobs, how you're going to, make sure that their gas prices aren't too high and their food prices aren't too high, and talk to Americans like you care about them. I've seen it with politicians. It just feels like, I don't know, they just, that's the right word to say it, want to pick fights with other Americans too much. And so this is sort of the way that I talk. And you guys probably figured it out. I've sort of talked about several times on the channel. I wish I could run. It just takes a lot of capital to run, and it's tough for people that look like me. I'm just being very real about it. It's really tough, and it's an unfortunate thing. You guys have no idea. I've had many conversations about this throughout the years of my life about this stuff. It's something that I, think about. But I do what I can do to try to make the world a better place. Do YouTube, try to do some education, and I do enjoy talking about politics. I think solving the way I look at politics. I know some people say, "Oh, politics is dirty. I hate politics." This is how I think about politics: is how can we provide leadership to get us all working together? How can we provide leadership to create a fair and equitable society? Right? How can we provide a leadership to make sure our system works for everybody, and make sure that everyone has an opportunity to have a job, fulfill their dreams, pursue the American dream essentially. And I don't know why like people just don't go with that message. I just don't think I ever say anything crazy. And I tell you guys, it's funny. I feel like I'm running for office now. I'm just sharing my view on politics. Is the thing that I think, because there's so much money in our system, it's hard to find candidates that had to work jobs as a kid and know what it's like to be poor, which frankly is most Americans, right? Most Americans don't have that much money. And you end up with a lot of candidates in office that just, are, born to wealthy families, didn't have to work, and, just don't know what it means to struggle when a lot of Americans are struggling, especially in a time of recession. So anyway, I hope you guys understand my message on this. I just wanted to tell you the election results. I think probably Trump's gonna announce his candidacy this week. I don't like Trump very much. He actually went to my school, University of Pennsylvania. Actually, Ivanka was there when I was there. The joke was always that she was never on campus and didn't study, for reals. But I know how these people are, and it's the Trumps. He'll probably run. He'll have a tough fight against DeSantis. I think DeSantis is the favorite so far of the Republican Party. DeSantis is not a dumb guy. I think he's a good candidate for Republicans. I don't personally like him that much, but I don't think he's a terrible person, and I won't curse his name if he becomes president, and I'll be happy if we just get someone in office and be normal. That's all I want. Just be normal. We're not just worrying about some crazy stuff that they're doing all the time. And I know for some people, they think it's funny when our American president does like stupid stuff all the time, but I just want someone normal. That's all I want. At this point, I know it's really low bar, right? That's all I have to say. So we'll keep track of election politics as it goes forward and when it matters. When we talk about policy and stuff like that. I try to do all news of all things, and just want to share my opinions and kind of set the tone of what I think, how we should talk about things, right? And I guess in particular issues that I'd like to see going forward, I really want to see the USA make a solid push for alternative energy. I think that it should be a priority. Also to energy independence, right? So this could be, if you want to say more drilling, and just basically not be buying oil from Russia or Saudi Arabia. I think a lot of people are going to be pretty ticked off by how much money we're sending to Ukraine during a recession. I can see Americans be pretty upset with that. I can really get that. And I also think we have a big problem looming. I did a video on this with our Social Security system. I worry about solvency if we just basically don't have enough money in the system. I also worry about our national deficit, which I don't know why people don't bring that up. It's so weird. Our politics in the USA is so weird. I don't know what the heck we're talking about all the time. I feel like we should be talking about other things, like our national debt's like a real thing. We've had so much money printing and borrowing. Nothing makes sense anymore with our budget. I think a balanced budget should be what's the right word to say, a policy, right? You could propose that, but they usually vote that kind of stuff down. But I think it's good policy to do that. I think things are going to get tough for the next couple of years. So I've been saying unemployment's going to go up probably around 5%. It could go anywhere from 5 to 10. Who knows what it's going to do? And I think crime rate's going to go up as well. So I've been mentioning these things guys as well. So these are going to be things that are on people's mind. And going back to sort of what I always say in this channel, if you want to be successful, focus on having job skills that people are going to pay you money to do, right? Some of the jobs that people don't want for whatever reason, I'll just give you an example, is like we have a shortage of nurses. We've had a shortage of nurses for so long. I mentioned this job like every single time. It's like we had a shortage of nurses. So if you're looking for a career choice, I'm telling you, nurses and these kind of things, there's a shortage. Teachers, there's also a shortage of teachers if you're looking for a career choice, either one of those. There's going to be other jobs as well. Tech jobs are going to be slow right now. I do think, though, cybersecurity is going to be good. I think, I've mentioned this before, drone repair. any sort of automation, repair, or service, because we're essentially going to be going the robots eventually. If you're going to be in marketing, those are going to slow. Sales are probably going to be slow. I think probably manufacturing maybe is okay for jobs. So and the trade jobs actually aren't bad. Although construction jobs are probably going to be slowed. So I always enjoy asking you guys out there, which industries are you in, and which ones do you think there's opportunity? We have someone in the community that was watching, and they work in water, and they were saying like, if there's any kids in school now, go into water engineering. That's the real thing. Like basically, you work for the water department of how to clean the water and make sure our water is clean and we have a good, drinking supply, these kind of things. So there's never going to be a lack of need of clean water and stuff. So there's always opportunity out there. You just have to be willing to study and get the skills that people want. And you have to be upgrading your skills every single year, every single day, every single month. And don't ever depend on a politician to like get you a job and make your life better. Depend on yourself is a way better choice, because I have no idea, who's going to win election from year to year to year. Who knows? I thought the Republicans had a huge advantage coming in the midterms, but I was wrong. I was wrong on that. I mean, Republicans really dropped the ball, in my opinion. I thought they should just be kicking the Democrats out of the park, essentially, because with their bad economy. I mean, I just thought it was an easy win, but maybe they focused on the wrong issues that didn't connect with voters and things like that. So anyway, that's my thoughts on politics. I'm going to continue to talk about it when it's appropriate, or every day if I want. It doesn't matter. I do whatever I want because I think it's a free world and you have a right to whatever opinion that you want to have. But I do think it's important to be respectful to other people and other people's opinions. So hope you guys understand my point of doing these kind of videos. I do appreciate watching, and I'll give you a news video next. I'm going to be working on it right now. So thanks again for watching, and I'll catch you next video.